Hello and welcome to the Paper Papillon. My name is Antoinette Bay and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Lynbrook, New York. And I am here today to share two projects that I am creating on my Thursday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Facebook Live. So you'll be seeing this on Friday, March 11th. And I will have actually had my Facebook Live on Thursday, March 3rd. So I am videotaping this ahead of time. So I want to share with you the project that I'm using, the products that I'm using on the first card. There are two cards and I'm using the Plentiful plants on both. I am actually using the dies, and I'm just using the sentiments from this set and the dies. And then I'm using a retired, I know, boo me, but a retired layering squares. I don't get rid of things that are square shaped, rectangle shaped, oval shaped, circle shaped. I don't get rid of those. I keep them, even though retired means that Stampin' Up! Retired them. What it means is I can't sell them to you. This is why boo-hoo, why I'm using them. I can't sell them to you if you wanted them, but you could always go online and find something similar somewhere else. Or in those Stampin' Up! Retired sites, you could find something similar to this. So anyway, put that to the side. We're using the Cajun Craze Stampin' Right marker to splatter, some linen thread, Memento black ink, and we'll get started. I am using the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine today as well, and it is on sale. Just so you know, US $60 is on sale for US $48 plus tax and shipping, of course, but it is on sale through the rest of March. And I did want to share that with you. So let's bring that over. And so are some dies that fit this mini trimmer. Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'll show you that later, along with a couple of other things. So for now, what we're doing is die cutting. Let's see. We're going to die cut the macrame plant hanger, the planter pot, and some leaves. Those are the items that we're die cutting today. All right, and we'll take, it's got the base plus one plate, and we're going to die cut two planters. And if you've been with me before, you will know that I forget to bring a lot of things over from one desk to the other. So I can tell you already, I will have to go over to my other desk to grab the cinnamon cider ink pad and a sponge, because we're going to use that on here. This is very vanilla cardstock. You could use white, but I wanted the look of very vanilla in the background. And you see it very little, but you could use whatever you want. Now I'm going to put this away so I don't lose it, of course. And now we'll take, this is Sahara Sand cardstock. And we're going to do one plant hanger. Did I get the whole thing in there? I don't know. Yeah, I did. Okay. Sorry if that shakes the table. So let's move this over and get this out of the way. And I'm going to take my piercing tool and just knock that right out of there. It's kind of tight in there, so. And there's our pretty macrame plant hanger. It's very popular right now, macrame. Seeing it all over the stores. Okay, so let me put this one away. Then what we're going to do is these pieces of paper, I'm going to move this out of the way because we're not done with the die yet. Hold on. Let's just do the last thing, which is I'm taking the largest solid square out of, oh, for this one we need the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine because the paper won't fit through. So let's get that part done too. So the small Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is good for traveling as long as you don't have large dies to cut if you're at a crop or something, or if you go away and you plan on crafting for a weekend. I'm going to get some tape to hold this down because I do not want it to move. And that's about, I want about the same amount of space on each side. So I'd say that's about a 1/2 inch on each side, right? Both sides and the top. I want it to be even. And from where I'm standing, that looks decent. So we're going with that. And I have a different mat on here. This is an old mat. I didn't take it off, and I need to throw this out because it's very worn. So it may look different. Okay. And then some of this tape might actually, oh, that's okay. Because that's coming out. Okay, so this square we don't need, which is fine. We'll put that to the side. And there's our square. So let's put this away. And there's a square. Now I can see a little bit of the yellow tape there. And I'm going to take my glue eraser and get that out of there. All right, now the plants, that's what I need to bring back, is the plants. So we'll bring back the mini. I know I'm going back and forth. So these papers right here are from the what it's called. It's called Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, and it has these beautiful colors in them. Look at that. And I have to say I haven't used it a whole lot, but I was glad that I found this tree pattern, because in the leaves I want the contrast of the dark and the light, and I really like the way it looked. It made the leaves look realistic to me. So that is why I'm using this versus another green that we might have. So, and this is a different pattern, so it's just smoother, but I like that as well. So if we need more, we'll use this. We might use that. So I'm going to take this darker part here, okay, and die cut that. Actually, let's go way down here because we're going to do it one way and then the other way. Okay. Okay, so we're right now, take note, we are die cutting this face up on the green, right? It's the front of the leaves. Now I do need to glue a back and a front because you will be able to see this on the inside of the card, and I don't want that. So now I'm going to turn this over and do the other side. I'm turning the paper over to do the other side. So that way I can butt them up together. Now, we also need this one, but I have pre-cut some. So we'll take the two. Here's the one that I cut with the green side up, and here's the one that I cut with the opposite side up, and now I'm butting them up together, and we're going to glue that together. Okay? Okay. So we'll take these leaves away. We don't need them for this project anymore, I don't think. And we'll get some liquid glue. And I'm bringing over a couple more leaves where I cut them the exact same way. So we need another one for the inside. Okay, they were cut the exact same way. So now let me get my cinnamon cider and a sponge. Okay. So one of these sponges has cinnamon cider on it, and I have to test them out. Let me see some scrap paper and see which one has cinnamon cider. Not that one. Maybe this one. Nope, that's navy. I was doing another project. Well, we'll use this. This is not used. Okay. All right. So before we move forward, let's take, with gluing these, let's take our plant pots and sponge them. It doesn't have to be fancy at all. Now, I do want to make the top portion a little bit, and I'm sorry if I'm shaking, darker. And maybe even a little bit down here. See how that's a little bit darker on the top? That's exactly what I want, a little bit darker on the top. So I'm just going to rub that a little bit harder. Rub the ink color in there a little bit harder. Okay, that looks good. Okay, and not a perfect pop. So one's going to be for the outside, one for the inside. Okay, I have ink on me. Okay, I don't want to get ink on anything, so I'm wearing leggings, and I'll use those as my towel. All right, so now we're going to take these leaves and liquid glue them together. And we'll put some liquid glue on the back of each of the petals and spread it around a bit. And let's get 1, 2, and 3. We might as well do the rest while we're at it, right? Whoops, just be gentle, not like me, don't go crazy. Okay. So now we'll put that on top. And then we have a nice leaf front and back. And then we'll take another one, put that on top. Oh, I did not do that one right. Maybe it's this one. That goes there. Okay. There, we have another. And another. Okay. And then the last one. Okay, so we have leaves, green on both sides. We're not seeing the color. Now, if you'd like, here, you could take a sponge with some old olive or evening evergreen, or any color. What other colors? Pear pizzazz. And you can sponge the edges if you don't want it to be, if you don't want crispness there. Okay, so that's that. So now we're going to take, well, I need that back. This is a different kind of card for me, I have to say. You know me, if you follow me, I'm a flower girl. So even though this is in that family, it's a plant, it's a little bit different what I'm doing here. And then we're just going to dot the planter a little bit with glue to hold one of the planters. And let's make sure on the other side we like the way that looks. And I do. That looks good. Well, the little glue will dry. I like the way that looks. So now I'm going to start with the big one, the big plant. Or can start with the little one. Let's see. No, we'll start. I'm going to do exactly how I did it with so I'm letting some of the leaves come through the front like that. Okay, just like that. And then we'll put some adhesive behind here to hold this down, and we can add leaves. And you have to play with that a little bit. And turn that a little bit. And there you have it. Now what I'm going to do here is take some Scotch tape to the bottom. This is going to sit on top of the card, so you won't see all that. You'll just see the leaves in the back. And to secure the leaves a little bit more, I'm going to add some glue in spots that you won't see it. Whoop. If I could just get it so that you won't see it. And we'll just add some glue. Now, when I made this, I don't recall, any of this glue will come off later. I'll use the glue remover. Okay, now we're going to get some linen thread. That I took apart. Okay, and I want it to be about that long, maybe a little bit longer. And we are going to thread that through and put this to the side. Yeah, I cut a very long piece, but it's okay. And then the other thing we'll do is take the second planter and just put this right behind, like that. It's going to go on the inside of the card. Leave that there. Okay, now we are going to do a little scoring. Let me move this. So this is crushed curry, and it measures 4 inches by 3 1/4. So 4 inches by 3 1/4. And I'm going to do some scoring on this little piece. So the first score mark is going to be 1 inch all the way down. The second is 1 3/4. The third is going to be at 3 inches. And the fourth is at 3 3/8. So I'm at 3 inches. 1, 2, 3. There's my 3/8 inch mark. Okay. Okay. And now we're going to fold it. Okay. Okay, so let's look at it this way. I always have to play with this. Bring that down. Bring that down. And the last one comes out. So it's just a little accordion fold. And now give it a good crease. Okay, so here is where I'm going to take some tear and tape. You could take liquid glue, tear and tape, adhesive, and right at the bottom of the first flap, I'm going to put some tear and tape. And then at the bottom of the second flap, I'm going to put some tear and tape, and it just about fits that flap. Okay, and now I'm going to take my tweezers to pull up the tear and tape. Okay, so you wonder, what is this? It's a curtain for our window. It is a curtain for our window. But the first thing we're doing is taking some Cajun craze, and if you don't have Cajun craze, you could use cinnamon cider or any kind of a red, and do some splattering, because our curtain has a little pattern on it of dots. Okay, nothing fancy. Now let that dry for a second. I'll move that, and we'll bring our window back. So this is going to go behind here, and I'm going to take some more tear and tape about halfway down the window there with the tear and tape, and then on top about there, and then remove the tape. It's a little stuck. And then right behind here is where we are going to put this window, this curtain. Before I push it, I want to make sure it's, yep, perfect. Okay, that's how I wanted it. And then to secure it some more, you can put another piece of tear and tape right on top of there. You don't have to peel it off or anything. It's just to secure those flaps a little bit more. Or you could use Scotch tape if you want. And that's that. All right. There is our window. Now we want a sentiment. Before we do anything else, we want a sentiment. And the sentiment I will use here is, how about, I used a different stamp set. You know what? I'm going to use a different stamp set here too. Hold on. I want something smaller. So here we go. All right. Didn't I say I always forget something? But before I stamp because I want to make sure I have the right size. I'm going to use something from Special Moments, which is actually that's Celebration. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use something from Celebration that just retired. And actually, I really kind of like with sympathy for this card. It's kind of an appropriate card for sympathy. I think I'm going to do that. It's a little bit bigger than I want, I think, on this card, but we'll see. Let's see if that's what we're doing. Yeah, because I can move it over this way. So I'm going to take some black Memento ink. And go to the right. I should have put the plant down first just to make sure, but it's a little bigger than I wanted, but it's okay. We'll work with it. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and how about that? Do you like that? So what we're going to do is put some glue on here. So let's see how it actually, before we put the glue on, let's determine where we are putting the linen thread. And make sure that leaf can come over a little. It's fine. That we are not covering the whole window. And the leaves are perfect behind there. And we'll put this down with some tearing tape. Again. Okay. So that is at a good length, right? Perfect. Oh, I'm glad I used the With Sympathy, actually. And then we're going to probably just put a little bit of glue on the plant pot. And that's it. And then the rest we'll leave until we know that we have this in the right place. Yeah, there's no glue coming out of there. It doesn't matter anyway, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because we're putting dimensionals behind here. And before we do that, let's take our 4 1/4 by 11-inch piece of cardstock and score it the long side at 5 1/2. All these measurements will be on my blog. Give that a nice crease with our bone folder. And then I like to turn it around, turn it inside out. Let's see. Whoops. Okay. So now we're going to take this, and what I'm going to do is I have these, what are they called? I forget. Foam adhesive. And I'm going to cut them down. I have all these sheets here, and I'm going to cut them down because they are long. So it beats putting on a ton of dimensionals, right? So I'm just going to go like that and put this all around. But you can put on a ton of dimensionals if you want, which is what I did for the first card until I realized I had this. I always forget that I have it. And here. And by cutting it, you know, it really, I have so many sheets in there. And then this here. I'll put a little bit here. Okay, now I can peel this all back. And then put it on the front of my card. And angle that properly. Oh, I just realized I didn't leave any space here. I wanted it to be smaller than the front of my card. Let me see, this looks small. Did I cut this the right size? Oh yeah, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I didn't trim this down properly. This should have been smaller. So there isn't going to be any leftover space here. Unless I trim it right now. I wish I would have noticed that. But it may stick. Let's see. Nope, we're going to leave it alone. Just know that this should be about a 1/4 inch smaller all around. Okay, so I'm going to start from the top and put this down. And I'll show you this on my sample. And down. And that doesn't hang over or anything, just barely. So there's no, you have your window, but there's no space around like the original. And I'll show you that shortly. And now you could put some liquid glue on this and put it on the inside of the card. And I did not put any gems or anything on here. I just didn't feel like I needed it with a window there. I kept this very simple. So there's the sample that we just made. And here is the original. So you could see the difference in here, the edges. So, and I used a smaller stamp. I like it either way, the larger one or the smaller one. And you could probably put some gems on here, but I didn't. Let's see, do I have any? I wouldn't put any rhinestones or anything. And this one's sympathy. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. But you could definitely put some gems if you want. But for this, I'm leaving it. I hope you like that. Okay, and we'll move on to card number 2. I'm going to do it all in one video, I hope. Okay, I'll leave this on the side for now, and then we'll bring over card number 2. I have all the supplies here, and we are once again going to be doing some die cutting. And this, there's no paper other than the same green paper that we were using. So for this, we are using the larger die cutting machine, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I flagged these 3 pieces that we need to use with a little post-it, so I would not forget what 3 pieces I used. And I'll put this to the side. And oops, I have more pieces than I want. So this is for the plant hangers. This is 100% fluid 100 watercolor paper. This is for the rectangles right there. And this is my 4 by 10.5 inch. Yep, this is 4 by 10.5 inch. It's going to be for the insert. And then this is our base, which is 5.5 by 8.5. Okay, and I'll put these to the side. So we're going to take the scoring tool, and first we're going to score at 4 1/4. On the 8.5 inch long side, we're scoring at 4 1/4. And then for this 4 inch by 10.5 inch, we are scoring at 5 1/4, because 5 1/4 is half of 10.5. Okay, and that's for the inside of the card. Okay. So these are the scored pieces. Let's put this away too. And we'll put that to the side. This is the watercolor, and this is these are the things that we need to die cut. So let me bring the die cut machine back over, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and we'll get started with that. Okay. And we just have a few things to do. So first let's do our rectangles. So we're taking the two, there's 3 different sizes here. So for now, we're taking the 2 larger rectangles. Okay. And they go on top of this on an angle because it's always easier. It goes through the trimmer smoother. I'm sorry for my ugly nail polish coming off nails too. I just noticed that. Not that you care. You're here for the card, but I did just notice that my nails look horrendous. Okay, so that looks pretty even to me all around. I'm going to put this tape down and hold it down perfectly. Might be a little bit heavy on the bottom. Okay, and now we'll put that through. And this is just basic white cardstock. Now this is the piece that we're using, this frame, and this we can use for another project another time. Okay. And now we need the piece that is 5.5 by 8.5. Fold that and give it a crease. Okay, it's going to go in the trimmer this way, and we're using this smaller die. Now we're actually going to just hold this piece that we just die cut about where we think looks centered. Okay, and that looks pretty centered to me. So that way I know where about I want this one to be. Okay, and we'll run that through the machine. I could have probably done that by eye, but we have it cut already, so why not? Now here, it's a little tougher to cut through when you don't have this on an angle, and I am sorry for the camera shaking. So I ran it through a couple of times just because I have it going through thick cardstock, and I just want to be sure it goes through. It usually does, and because I didn't have it on an angle, it would have cut much smoother if I had had it on an angle. Okay, so that goes there, and I'm just going to check the opposite side, and it didn't cut through as much as I'd like, so I'm going to do that again, and I am going to do it on a bit of an angle. See how much easier it goes through when you have it on an angle? None of that. Okay, that's good. And that came right out. Perfect. Now this piece is going to go to the side, and we could use that for another project. And now we're going to bring over, we'll put that to the side. We're going to bring over the watercolor paper, and we're going to cut 2 planters. And we're also going to cut 2 planters, and we are going to cut this but with the other, and we may need to cut another leaf. Okay, so there's the planters. We'll do those 2. Actually, let's do 3. 3 planters just in case we need them. And I'll put this one away. And then we need a couple of hangers, plant hangers. We need 2 of those. And let's push that out. And then we need another one. Okay, so we have 2 planters. I'll put some scrap over here. And then we'll get some more leaves. So let's do this style. Let's do this. So we'll do 2 this way and 2 the other way. And then we'll go that way. So let's see if I could fit this all here. Pretty sure I can. Yep. So you see we flip the paper over so we can butt these 2 up against each other. Okay, we'll put this away. And I believe we are done with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We'll see. I did forget a little something here. I need a water painter here for this project. And we are going to, I have water in there, that's good. All right, so first thing we're going to do is watercolor the pots. And it may look very different to you that I'm using the colors that I'm using. And I brought them over. So we're also going to use blending brushes. And we're using a few blues. So for this, we're using Misty Moonlight. Oops. So I'm going to pour some water, and it's already got some of the blue on there. I'm just going to do the one side. And I'm going to dry it with the heat tool. Okay, so this is a little bit loud. Sorry, what I need is to hold it down with something. So let me just hold this down. Okay, we're going to do that again, but at least now I know to hold it down. Okay, now let's just get a little bit more color on here. You don't want perfection. You want it to look a little sloppy. And then we're also going to splatter a little bit. So grab some of the ink onto the brush and splatter. Okay. So now that's dry a little bit. We'll make this a little bit darker in areas. Just the edges of this. Sloppy, sloppy. That's the way, that's the look. All right, I'm gonna leave that the way it is and let it sit to dry. And in fact, I think we might even dry it just a tad. Let's push this over and do one at a time. Pretty dry, but just to give it a little bit more, because we might hit that up with the blue just a little bit again. We'll see. It's pretty decent. These look decent. Who says that a plant pot has to be terracotta? Let's make it blue, right? Okay. Now we have those. So now what we're going to do is, let's put that to the side. Let's glue our leaves. Let's get those all done. And I have some more over here on the side, so we're going to get those done as well. Okay, so those have a moment to dry. Okay, so I have these two and these two. So, do you like the color of the pot so far? Let's do this one. And like I said with this one, if you want to sponge the edges, feel free. I don't. I'm going to leave them. I don't want to make the video longer than it is. And when I do these videos, it also helps me to know how much I really need to prep in advance, but still show what we need to show. And on a Facebook Live, I don't generally like to go more than an hour. I just feel that you lose the attention if it's too long. Okay, so this is the back and this is the top. And this is another back and top, like that. So I try not to keep it more than an hour. So this helps me to determine what I have to do that needs to be pre-done. Because a lot are advanced, but then I have some beginners too on my live, so I want them to see the process of the die cutting and whatnot. It just doesn't come die cut for you. You have to do it yourself. A lot of people might think, oh, it's a sticker or something like that, and it's not. We are die cutting the paper ourselves. And 3, I have one more that I forgot to do. Let those sit there for a sec and we'll do this one. Oh no, I did them. Okay, they're all done. Okay. Oh, I have plenty here. I didn't realize I had that many. Okay, so these are all drying. And let's see. Okay. All right, now we're going to do another fun part, and that is to take this 4 by, now let me make sure it's 4 by, it is, because it's going to go on the inside. But we're going to fold this over. So this is another fun thing to do. And this is just plain white. It's not thick, it's plain white. Basic white. And we will, I think I'm going to turn this inside out and push these aside. And now the fun part, we're going to take a Pear Pizzazz and a blending brush and start from the top. And I know I'm shaking and bring it down to about the middle, but not in the center. We're going to kind of leave the center open. Okay, we'll leave the center open. And I'm sorry for the shaking. And now we're going to move on to the Balmy Blue. Let's move Pear Pizzazz over right now. Let's move on to Balmy Blue and get that one going on the bottom. And it will meet the green, the Pear Pizzazz. And like I said, we're leaving the center. I think we could use a little bit more in here. Yeah. Now I'm going to move on to a darker, and we'll do Misty Moonlight. Okay. Oh, gosh, I thought I put in, and we'll add a little bit of Misty Moonlight in there. Now we'll go on to Old Olive. There's nothing perfect about this at all. Absolutely nothing perfect. And we'll move on to Old Olive. And we're just going to leave that white right in the middle. And I might have come down a little bit, up a little too far with the blue, but we're going to see how that's going to go. All right, so let's move this to the side until we're ready to do our sentiment. So we're going to do what we did earlier and put some liquid glue on the macrame plant hanger. Okay, and then we'll put one of the pots. I like this one, it's a little darker on there. Okay. And then we're going to also do what we did earlier. Okay, that looks like that. I'm going to add some of the leaves. So get some through here. This one I'm using okay, so I got it through like that. There's a little too much white showing on this particular plant. I'm going to switch it out for this one. Okay, I like that better. And then I might put another, I have to trim that, that's bothering me. And put it on a little, oh, you know what I'll do? I'll take the brush, I'll take one of the sponges that I had, right? And a little bit of Old Olive, and that'll cover up the white that's showing. That is irritating me. So yeah, if there's any white showing because you didn't do a perfect job of getting them matched up, then just add some sponging and it'll be fine. And there we have it. Now I'm happy with it. Okay. Then we can put one back here like that. So now this requires some adhesive. And you just play around until you're happy with the way your leaves are sitting on your project. And I would like a little bit more to come out this way. So I might throw yet another one. I'm going to throw one of these back here. So that is sitting right there. Okay, a little bit more adhesive there. So this one can go right in there. There, nice and full. And then of course I'm going to take one of these. So I'll take this one. That's the only one I have left. I didn't have to do the double work here, but that's okay. I don't mind it. And just, I don't want any of that to show. I'm just going to have, leave that for the inside. Okay, so now we have another planter. I'm going to put that right behind there, okay? Now let me remember what I'm doing here. Yes, that is exactly what we're doing. We're taking, actually this could have stayed white, but let's see. No, let's make it blue too. On my original, I kept the back of it white, but we're going to let the pattern of the blue follow to the back. Okay, and then the other planter is going to go, oh, you know what I did? This has to go, oh yeah, that's right. Okay, this goes the opposite way. So that way these meet right down here. Okay, so now we need some liquid glue. And then you're going to put some on the planter, all over the planter because it has to sit on top of the leaves. Now this is the back side. And now the back looks the same as the front, right? Let me get my other one. Okay. And there you have it. I might even throw another leaf in there. I would have right in here, but it'll be too much. Okay, so now we have that. Now we're going to determine, now we need white twine. That should be long enough. So that is going through the front. It's going to loop right through. Okay. Now, this is going to sit right in here like this. Where's the adhesive? Okay. So this goes right on the inside. Okay, so you have about 1/4 of an inch of white space around. Okay. And then what will happen is, let's see. This is going to hang from this piece right here. It's going to hang about right there. That's the front. We want these little strings down here to hang just about there. So I think that's going to be perfect. I'm going to take some tear and tape and hold down, whoops, and hold down the thread, the twine. And then we'll cut this extra twine off. You're just going to cut off any extra twine without cutting the paper. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing that we did before, and that is put dimensionals or foam tape behind. So that's going to go like that. Okay. And actually it may go up just a little bit more. We're not going to put that down just yet. We may pull these a little bit more, the planter. Okay, that's not working out. I'm pulling the tear and tape off, and we are going to play with this planter for a second. Just going to go like that. I want it to be more centered, so you do have to play with it a little bit to get it to where you want it. And I think that's going to do it. So I'm going to put a little bit more tear and tape. I want the planter to be centered in this center here, so okay. And I'll clean up the strings afterward, but for now, let's just keep it like that. And let's get our foam tape again. I'm going to do another sheet. This is too thin. And then let's cut this up. You see how much easier foam tape is when you have it? And then I need one more small piece right here. Okay, let's get this on the card. let's hold on to this right in the front. I'm going to center that on the card. That may be a little bit too high, but we're going to leave it there. Oh no, it's too high. Wow, this was going very well. Now, not so well. Just be careful if you don't do it perfectly the first time. It's tough to get it perfect, right? I think that's better. Okay. Yeah, it's much better. Okay. And I see a little bit of the, let's see, the yellow from the tape. I want to clean that up a little bit before I do anything else, because that bothers me too. Okay. So yeah, that is what we want for our planter. Okay. So then these leaves are going to get glued down, but the first thing before we do that, we are going to make sure we get our sentiment hidden behind here. And you got to be careful with glue, because I could see glue on here and I want to get it off. Okay, so it's going to go right behind there. Now let's see, what sentiment are we going to use? I might as well stick with this set, and I think I'm going to use Where Would I Be Without a Friend Like You. I like that. And I have to get it perfectly centered. So where is my previous stamp? Hold on, I need a new block. There's a lot of concentration on these cards. Simple, but still a lot of steps, right? So then we're going to take the memento and pray for a good stamp. Hold on. And now that I can't find either. All right. So I think I pretty much have it. I don't want the stamp to show behind here. So it's going to go there. Ta-da! Now let's put some liquid, let's put some glue dots. You won't see those. Okay, let's cover this. And let's get some glue dots back there. There. Oops. And then there. I'm going to glue, liquid glue the macrame piece on the bottom. And then we're going to clean up that little bit of ugly thread. Now we're going to get some gems. For this one, I'm using my favorite iridescent gems. Put one up here, a small one next to it, and then a medium down here. And then that's how it looks on the inside. So you have a really nice inside right here, right? And then let's just get that last plant that we did and put it in here. And then you could write your note on the inside. All right? So there you have, that's kind of a fun fold. And there you have it. Now I can see, you probably can't see all this, but I can see a little stuff in there, little glue. So I'm going to get that out with my little glue remover very carefully off screen. And then you open that up and you have a pretty planter on the other side. And you can also have put some of these plants through the hanger as well, just the same way you did on the front, but I didn't do that. And then here, and then the plant for the inside, which needs to be stuck down a little bit more. So there's your fun card, and here was the original. See how much lower? This one's a little bit lower. Oops, sorry. This one's a little bit lower than this one, and even my inking was a little darker. And I used the word thank you. And did I do a leaf? I mean, I did do leaves on the inside too. So there you have it. And we'll bring this one back. So two really neat and cool plant sets. Planters, plant cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will tell you that if you like any of the products used today, you can find the list in my blog, and I have a host code running to the 15th of this month. This is the host code. Don't forget that the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine is on sale. If you use this host code and you make a minimum $35 purchase in my online store before tax and shipping, I will mail you, regular mail, no tracking on it, 2 of these cards that I made last week. One's a Mother's Day card, gift card. So that's where the gift card goes. And here's the Father's Day. Okay, so I will mail you handmade by me, 1 of each. And they come in this envelope. So they are mailed in these, and then I put a clear plastic around both, and they go inside this envelope beautifully, and they get mailed. I take them to the post office for weighing, and you don't pay for the shipping on these. However, there is no tracking on these. So, but if you would like them handmade by me, you need to use this host code by the 15th of the month to get these 2 for free, handmade by me. Now, if you choose to make them yourself and you just want the kit and you have your own stamps, then you could tell me that as well, and I'll just send you the kit for it. Okay, so don't forget the sale. You could shop in the mini catalog and the annual catalog, and this is the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in the US, $48 on sale. It was $60, and these are some of the stamps. There are 13 stamp bundles that are on sale. So let's just take, for instance, Quiet Meadow bundle was $59, and now it's $47. Okay, so take a peek at that in my online store. All the links are below, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you come back again. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the little bell next to subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I go live. Thank you, and take care. Bye-bye.